I'm an adopted child and was told about my adoption very young. And then I was told not to tell anybody about it. And so I lived my entire life feeling ashamed of who I was and that I wasn't good enough, and hid. I mean, I built a facade and I just sort of hid behind it. I found out about the Wright Foundation, and there was a weekend coming up, and I went to the weekend, and that night we were processing what was going on, and I honestly don't remember the woman's name, and she told me I was like a robot. And I just finally said, I don't want to live my life like that anymore. I am deeply indebted to the Wright Foundation for the success of Safe Haven School, their transformational leadership program, the work that they do with women, all of it. If it hadn't been for the Wright Foundation, I don't know that the school would have survived with me at its helm the way I was before. Because of the kinds of students that we have here, children who are tremendously anxious or depressed, who are on the verge of suicide, social emotional learning would be tremendously helpful from them, and particularly what I learned through the Wright Foundation. We have a culture of kindness at Safe Haven School. We do not allow sarcasm here. We don't allow kids to roll their eyes because that's a put down, and we don't allow kids to be put down here. Mental illness is not taken seriously in this country, and so my vision for the future, not just of Safe Haven School, but for all children, is to benefit from what I learned at the Wright Foundation, presented to them in a way that they can invest in themselves in a healthy way, rather than in the unhealthy ways that they are coping with their mental illness now.
Before taking any courses at the Wright Foundation, I was actively involved in a very strong and successful Christian counseling practice, and yet there was something significantly missing within me. I was seeing my clients were growing, but I was realizing that I was like helping them to grow in ways that I was not growing myself. And I began working at the Wright Foundation, where I've been supported by so many different people. It's not just the significant leadership of Bob and Judith Wright, but it's a group of people that are deeply dedicated to living lives of truth and authenticity and investing in the lives of other people. As a result of my work with the Wright Foundation, I'm living the life that I've been seeking to live. It doesn't look exactly the way I had originally hoped for, but it's alive. I feel alive. You know, the tagline for my business is living life abundantly, and so that is happening. I was doing some training in Costa Rica and have been leading pastors groups that primarily ministers to the needs of the poor. A large proportion of the poor people actually live up in the mountains. So this is a church that is nestled in under a volcano where people struggle to survive. So it was through that I ended up starting a not-for-profit organization called Second Order Ministries, where I go down, several times a year. And so in Central America, it's been very powerful to be leading seminars and having an ongoing relationships with pastors that are influencing the organizations that they're involved in that are located throughout all of Central and South America. I've been able to use what I've received from my work here at the Wright Foundation and passing that on to others who are like me. I work with people who are helping other people, but the critical thing is the healing comes through the person. And so it's as we grow and mature and develop ourselves as human beings that we're able to actually make a much more significant impact through our lives.
One of the hardest things that I had to learn here at the Wright Foundation was being authentic. There's so much that we get socialized into. My parents were born and raised in India. I was born here in America. And so we have my family culture trying to reconcile what is American culture. And then to come here and say, you got to get rid of all of that. That was hard. And just to try to figure out who I was as a person deep down inside. And this is now how I can relate to patients as a human to a human. The clinic that I'm at now, this is the south side of Chicago. We are in Chicago Lawn. Holy Cross Hospital is less than half a mile away, and 95% of Chicago shootings happen in a 5-mile radius from us. This is the population that it serves, people that are in desperate need of care. Walgreens came to me and said, hey, we see your name on a lot of our prescriptions. What can we do for you? And I said to them, listen, you guys are the closest to us, but quite honestly, for our uninsured patients, send them to Walmart and Target because of this pricing. And I think you guys really need to do something, and could we sit down and come up with something? Well, they came back and said, we just wanted to let you know, because of your feedback, it went national, and then they actually did that whole W card. The Walgreens discount program was based off of that. So that was very, very, I was floored. All the research that has been done here at the Wright Foundation is a tremendous, tremendous shortcut. This is a distillation of a tremendous amount of experience, a great amount of goodwill, of this intention to do good in the world, to elevate humanity. These are the types of things that I've found here at the Wright Foundation, that this is about how can we make the world better.